Hi, friends, and welcome to the Healing Cave community. My name is Nicole, and this is a segment that I'm going to call Soulful Sundays for now. And let me just let you know I did a live stream earlier today that was Soulful Sundays. A bit of chatting, a bit of tarot, and everything was cool until I went to look at the replay and make sure everything was okay. It was super, super laggy. It wasn't even playing. So, you know, I couldn't leave that up. I had to take it down. But the messages were so on point. Literally every deck that I used, the message was the same. And so I feel like that's an important thing for us to know for this coming week. I plan to do these on Sundays. Today is January the 12th, I think. Yes, it's the 12th. So I plan to do these. They'll be, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour long. Again, it'll just be um, just inspiration and motivation for the upcoming week, as well as tarot and oracle pullings to let us know what we should be focusing on as a collective, right? What came out earlier was several things. Okay, let me see if I can remember. Oh my God, I was a little sick that messed up because, okay. Um, This is a number 9 year, 2025, breaks down to the number nine. And nines symbolize the ending of something, coming to the end of a cycle, right? And that means that with an ending comes the beginning of something new. This is the period where we sort of show and prove, where we show the universe that we have learned lessons and that we don't need to repeat certain cycles in our individual journeys. Um, the message that continued to come out is the need to let it go. There's some things that you gotta let it go. You got to let it go and move on. You have to. Um, and we have a choice of how we're going to handle this this ending, right? Are we going to go on to a new cycle still trying to carry the baggage of the past? Or are we ready to experience something better, right? There have been a lot of challenging experiences that have happened in the past 9 years. There's a 10 year, so in the past 9 years, there are a lot of lessons and experiences that all of us have been challenged with, right? I know I'm not the only one. And a lot of things that I can personally say, yeah, I definitely had the option whether or not to continue to hold on to it and be bitter and be angry and be resentful, you know, or to let it go and do something else. And so that is the main message that kept coming out, the need to forgive yourself. Because a lot of times, at least it was true for me. Let me know if it was true for you as well. With certain situations, you can forgive the other person and move on from that. But the forgiving yourself part, the making peace with yourself, and the fact that, damn, I knew this all along and I continued to play along, or damn, like this could have been over a long time ago. I didn't have to put myself through this, or whatever it is. Why did I put myself in such a position to begin with, right? Whatever it is, the forgiving yourself is the more challenging aspect of forgiveness, right? Source is telling us it's time for us to forgive ourselves, to forgive others, recognize that we are all on our own journeys, and it doesn't excuse anything that has occurred. It doesn't mean that you agree with what people have been doing. But it does mean that, hey, I'm not going to let it continue to affect me in ways that don't support my wellness, period. Right? So that was overall the message. And, I really was going to just be like, okay, well, we'll start again next week. But I feel like that's a very important message that we all need to know, especially with the full moon coming up. Um, on the 13th. So depending on where you are in the world, you're already at the peak of the full moon right now as I get ready to upload this video. And full moons are all about releasing what no longer serves you. And that is absolutely the theme of this week. So whether it is a mindset, whether it is a belief, whether it is certain connections with individuals, with friends, with relatives, with romantic partners, with jobs, whatever it is really making peace and releasing what no longer serves you. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and pull a few cards here because I'm not gonna do an entire hour again, but I just want to see if anything else wants to come out for us. And I really, like I said, really wanted to get this video up today. So the setup is different. I'm sitting at my desk now, whereas I was vibing earlier. So yeah, it was a whole thing, child. But we're gonna go with it, okay? First up, I've got my chakra cards here. We're going to see. You can't even see me shuffle with this setup, but we're gonna just see what wants to show up here. Whoa! All right. I connect to inner guidance, crown chakra. I don't know if you can see that. Let's come in a little bit. I honor my intuition, another crown chakra. Okay. And I reflect before reacting, third crown chakra coming out. Right. So this is making choices not from detaching the emotional aspect of it. If you're pissed off at somebody, it's easier to cut them off than if you feel like you are in a good place, right? If you feel like you're in a good place, it may be a little challenging to honor the fact that it's time to end this and to sever ties, right? This is talking about acting from your highest self, not from your ego. Acting from your highest self, making decisions from your highest self. You know already what you need to be releasing this week. And if you don't know, if you aren't quite clear and sure on it, you're going to be receiving that clarity and those confirmations this week, right? And it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to trust your intuition and make those changes. Knowing that something else that came up earlier was root chakra. This is a root chakra thing as well, because you have to know that if I let something go, it's okay. Something that's more aligned with me, something that is better for me in this season will take its place. Because sometimes we like to hold on to things, clench on to things, even if our hands are bleeding, trying to hold on to it because we aren't sure if we're going to get anything better, right? So trusting your intuition and grounding yourself in knowing that God always has your back. The universe always has your back. Your highest self is always working for your highest good. Everything is working for you. Things are happening for you, not to you. So in releasing something that you know is no longer for your wellness, that you know has served its purpose in your journey. You know that something that is now ready to come in, you're ready for, and you can welcome it in, right? That's beautiful energy. And if you aren't sure as you go about this week, even though the full moon is on the 13th, the energy can really be felt a few days before as well as a few days after. So I would say probably up until like the 16th or so. If you aren't sure, sit with yourself. I connect to inner guidance. Sit with yourself and ask yourself. Don't be afraid to sit and talk to yourself. Hmm? Don't be afraid to sit and talk to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, please show me, what do I need to be releasing right now? What do I need to be working on and making peace with and letting go? And it will be revealed to you. Okay? I am going to use my deck here, which is the Find the Answer Oracle deck. And let's see. Let me give it a shuffle here. I'm sorry if that's loud. I don't know how it's gonna come across in this microphone. I'm using my webcam. All right. Let's see, y'all. I hope that you're doing well. Hope that you're having a good Sunday fun day. Sundays are, thank you, about getting out in the sun. Where I am, it has been snowing the past few days and it's been kind of icy. We've been like in the house, but today the sun is shining and it's bright and it's beautiful, and it's a good opportunity for you to get out in it. Okay. This one that came out says find strength in community. Perfect segue to say, if you haven't subscribed to the Healing Cave community, hit the subscribe button, baby. There is our private community where we can have, you know, conversations that aren't mainstream, and keep in touch also because there is a chat that's available. It's a very minimum amount to be able to have access to that. So that information is, thank you, scrolling there on the screen if you want to partake in that. Let go of anger and resentment. That also just came out. I'm telling y'all, let's go ahead and get one more. This really is, I don't know if I said it already on this video, but I do remember saying it on the live stream. Um, this is like the practical part of the exam where you get to display and prove that you truly have learned the information, because this is Earth School. We are here to learn, to grow, to expand, right? And the reason that we have certain experiences over and over and over, over and over and over, is because the lesson that we are meant to get from it, we hadn't learned yet, right? Come on, Butterfingers. um, but yeah, so this is a perfect time for you to show the universe, hey, there it is. I've got it. I learned the lesson. Be brave enough to start over. That reminds me, one of the other cards that came out was round and round, and it can be interpreted several ways, but as it's coming to me now, this looks like something that you have experienced. Say if uh, honoring your intuition is something that you have been challenged with, right? You can know that something is not for your wellness. You can know that somebody ain't no damn good, and you, well, not aligned with you is really the better way to say that. But you can know that they're not, and you will still try to make that connection work. That's going against your intuition. going against your inner guidance, right? You might um, have that sort of situation happen multiple times where you know that the person is not it. You know early on that's not a good situation, that's not a good job, this is not a reciprocal friendship. Like, you know early on, and yet you still give energy to it before it is snatched away from you by the universe. Okay, this is saying that be brave enough to start over. And the round and round is, if this sort of situation were to present itself now at this point, because you've learned your lesson, you're going to say, no, that's not for me. Thank you. You're not going to participate. So you're not starting over from scratch. You're starting over from experience. You're starting over from the wisdom that you have learned through your experiences, right? Be brave enough to start over. Even if you have to walk away from something, let's say, oof, oof. Let's say you have to go through a divorce, and you have accumulated so many things with this partner, so many material things with this partner, and you are hanging on to this connection because you think, man, I, I don't believe. Okay, I'm older than I was when we first got together. Like, if I had to start all over, rebuilding all of this, that's going to take me forever. And so you talk yourself out of leaving, even though you know that it has served its purpose in your journey. Don't be afraid to start over, because everything that you've accumulated in that connection, you can accumulate again. You could probably even do it solo. Everything that you have accumulated, you can accumulate again. Just let that be the proof that it's possible. Let the fact that you've already experienced a bit of it be the proof that it's possible. If this is a job where you are making uh, more money than you ever have on a job, and so you're hesitant to quit, even though you literally hate coming to this place every day, thank you. Let the fact that you acquired that job, right, be the proof that there are jobs out there that will pay you what you feel like you're worth. And if not, you will create it. You got it once, you can get it again. Let's keep going here. All right. Got number 16 here. Know if you can see it, if it's gonna focus, but it says all that glitters. And this is someone's what you believed to be true. It's like the mask is falling off and you're really starting to see things for what they are, right? And then also happy came out here. Number 26. This is definitely the scales falling off your eyes and you being able to really see things clearly and see things for what they are and move accordingly. Does that make sense? Like, if your whole entire life you have been told you have to uh, go to college and you have to, that's the only way to get a job that pays you enough money to have a livable, to be able to live comfortably, or whatever it is, right? And you went to school and now you see that it's still that's not really what it is, you know. the mindset, there's like a shift that happens. And you like, that's not true for me. That might have been true for my grandparents. That might have been true for my parents, but that's not true for me. And so you're seeing things a different way, and you're going to be moving a different way, making different choices that lead to different experiences and different outcomes, and you're going to be happier than you've ever been. It's about you making the choice, though. You learning the lesson. You being brave enough, right? Because it can be intimidating to walk away from something, especially if everybody else around you is like, why would you ever walk away from it? Like, speaking of, thank you, speaking of divorce, you may have friends who be like, I wouldn't let them, you take them to court and you get everything that you can get from them. I wouldn't let them have that house. We got that house together. I wouldn't let them ... Y'all got that together. You the one gotta live with you. You the one gotta be able to sleep at night. You have to make choices that align with you. You have to make choices that align with you, even if it may seem crazy to other people. Okay? What else came out is go the distance. Go the distance. Number 47. You have everything that you need within you. And the things that you feel like you haven't perfected yet, the universe has a beautiful way of aligning you with just who you need to be with when you need to be with them. But are you ready to receive them is the question. Are you ready to receive them? Are you ready? Let's see here. Oh, we're doing good. I'm not going to be before you long. We got 2 more decks to pull from. I hope that this is helpful. If it's resonating with you, be sure to hit the like and leave a comment. Let me know which parts resonated with you. Misery loves company. And what I mean when I say that is people will keep you where they're comfortable with you being. If you're trying to, you know, grow and you're trying to um, expand and you're trying to do things differently, you're trying to heal, you don't want to walk around with the baggage and the burdens of things that have happened in the past. You want to release it and let it go. People who are not on that type of time will say and do whatever they feel they need to do to keep you there with them. They don't want to be there by themselves. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We got 9 of Pentacles here. And then we got the Ace of Wands in this deck. It's called Passion Ignited in this deck. And that's exactly what it is. It is like a rebirth. That's what I want to feel. That's what I want to say. It's like a rebirth, like a being awakened, like your flame being lit, right? And it leads to 9 of Pentacles. You having everything to sustain yourself that you need, and then some. Because in the traditional tarot, baby, that 9 of Pentacles is thriving. She is thriving in her garden. Okay? And he is thriving on this card. You see? With the aura around him, the light around him, it suggests to me that he's in connection with source. He's in connection with his highest self. You see, he's connected to inner guidance. And that is what leads to the material harvest, the spiritual harvest, the emotional harvest, where you just feel well. You have connections that are fruitful, that are reciprocal. People who truly care about you, people who truly want to see you do well, people who are on the same type of time as you are on. They're not trying to compete with you. They're not malicious. They're not any of that. Like, in order to receive, though, you have to be willing to let go of what no longer fits, because the two can't coincide. You can't have the new and still be holding on to the old. It's just going to taint the new, right? So that's why it's so important. And I think that's why we're being so encouraged to release what is no longer serving us. Hold on, y'all. It just occurred to me. Oh, I had to check and make sure that I unmuted the mic. If I had gotten 26 minutes into this video and realized that I hadn't unmuted that mic, it would have been some furniture moving. I ain't kidding. Now that's it. Enough's enough. Okay? Let's go ahead and do the last deck. But yeah, that's why it's so important to go ahead and release, release what has served its season. Let me give this one more shuffle here. Alright, let's see here. Thank you. Thank you. We got what is this? The Six of Swords. Moving on. It's time for us to move on. Move from chaos and conflict and drama and hurt and pain and bitterness and resentment and all the stuff and the things that are not beneficial for us, and move on to calmer waters. It's time for us to move on. And this Knight of Pentacles here tells me that this has been a long time coming. And you know what it reminds me of? Now, personally, I had a period in my life's journey where um, I've I've always been very intuitive, right? I know, even if I don't say anything, I know, right? So I'm talking about myself when I say I knew from the second week that a job was not gonna, it wasn't intended to be long term, and yet I turned around and stayed there 8 years. I knew from the beginning that a connection would not, it was misaligned. And yet I went on to be with the person for 3 years. Like, I knew, okay? When I tell you I knew, I knew. And getting to a space to where I'm now very much like, if my intuition tell me it ain't right, I can't give any energy to it, period. I gotta move back, period. I had the test come up with a potential friendship where, I saw very early on that me and this girl were not on the same type of time. And instead of trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, and because two things can be true at once, I also know that everybody's on their own journey. And just because I have finally after much trial and error, finally learned a lesson. It doesn't mean that everybody is at that same space. And so, I had a nasty habit of being like, oh well, I can just have a bit more patience with them. Baby, I stopped talking to her so quick. Nope, I can't do that. I can't do it again. No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. No, thank you. Right? It's for some of y'all, it's been a long time coming. Get into this place to where you are ready to embrace something new, where you are ready to stop going in circles, right? Stop stubbing your toe, right? Thank you. Oh, I know you lying. Guess what came out? That Nine of Pentacles I was describing to you. You see? Baby, she is vibing. She is single. I don't even think she worried about mingling in that way. You know, she's vibing. This is after um, putting in the work. One issue is a lot of us don't want to do the work. We want to complain about things not, you know, uh, being the way that we want it to be in our life. And we get all of these teachers that come along our journey to help us develop and help us learn the things that we need to learn in order to be prepared to experience those things that we want so badly. But we don't want to do the work. Why? This Nine of Pentacles comes after having done the work. Do you think he just woke up and was super in touch with his highest self and operating from his crown chakra? No. He had to do the work. He had to do the shadow work. Face those parts of ourselves that we want to run and hide from. Face those parts of ourselves that we like to cover up with addictions of all kinds. Okay? Let's get one more card. I think this is the last. Yeah. I'm going to get one more card and then we're going to wrap it up. And there it is. The Strength. Courage. Do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to honor your intuition? Do you have the courage to sit with yourself a little bit and dig deeper into why you feel the way that you feel about something and reflect before you react? Do you have the courage to do that? You have the courage to sit and connect with your inner guidance? Hampu, do you have the courage to be brave enough to start over? Do you? You have the courage to let go of anger and resentment? How about the courage to connect with a community that is aligned with where you are in your journey, as opposed to hanging on to connections that represent a former version of you? That takes courage. Do you have courage to move on? Do you have courage, even though it's taken a long time? It's here now. Do you have courage to embrace it? You have courage to follow your passions, follow what your inner guidance and your soul is directing you to do. That is what is showing up for us this week, y'all. Right? This is a week of really spending some time with yourself and discovering what it is that you need to release in this season. And we're in winter time, so this is the perfect time, right? Um, if you haven't already, I encourage you to check out the series that I've started here called the rhythms of the universe. That is where we are focusing on aligning our efforts and our intentions with the seasons, right? And this season is winter. And winter is for stillness, it's for introspection, it's for um, rest, it's for recovery, right? And um, so far there's we've been doing a lot of, I have to call it shadow work. We've been doing a lot of shadow work. There are worksheets inside of the community that have journal prompts and that ask you questions and that guide you through the reflecting process so that you can really get the most out of this season before we prepare to get to work in spring, right? You have to, there's a, okay, so the Gregorian New Year, of course, is January the 1st. A lot of people argue that's not the new year. The new year's in spring. And I get it because it is. Nature's New Year's in spring. Okay. I believe that actually they're both true because in the wintertime when things are dormant, it is also the period where you um, get with yourself and set your intent for this year's cycle. That is beginning something new. You're just not putting any work, any like hard effort into it, any hard action rather into it, right? The action part comes in spring, but this is pivotal because you can't act on something that you haven't planned for. You can. It might be jacked up. That's why so many people, I think, myself included, spent so many years setting New Year's resolutions, trying to take off running on January 1st, and by February 1st, you all out of gas. So, yeah, the rhythms of the universe. We are focused on the winter season right now. I think we just did a winter intention map this past week. So definitely check that out. Really get clear on what it is that you need this season and what your soul is calling you to focus on. Okay. Um, let's see what else. We're going to do live check-ins. Sorry, my phone's ringing here. We're going to do live community check-ins on Thursday, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Let's see if there's anything else. It is escaping me at the moment. But yeah, I hope that this has been helpful, y'all. I hope that something has been said to encourage you this week, to inspire you this week, and to be just helpful along your journey of self-discovery, personal development, of inner healing. We are in it together here. We light each other's torches at the Healing Cave. So I thank you so much for joining me for these moments. Of course, leave your questions and your comments down below, and I will see y'all again soon. Y'all take care.